So many questions, so many concerns. Let me turn to Ambassador Christopher Hill via Skype. He's the Dean of the Josef Korbel School of International Studies at the University of Denver and former U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Korea or South Korea. Ambassador Christopher Hill, welcome to the program. The question everyone is asking at this point, will there be a military confrontation between the United States and DPRK?
Well, I don't know. What I do know is that North Korea has accelerated their nuclear program. They had 2 nuclear tests in 2016. They're threatening to have another one very soon. By all accounts, they're prepared to do that. They've had some 25 tests of missiles, and they were very proud to display a kind of new generation of missiles, including long-range missiles. So I think we have a problem because the North Koreans have indicated little or actually zero interest in any kind of negotiation. They don't seem to care what the U.S. says. They don't seem to care what China says. And I think it's very problematic. At the same time, I think it's impossible for a U.S. Administration to just stand by and say, we'll be patient, because it's clear North Korea has no interest in dialogue and, frankly, no interest in living up to the things it's already agreed to, namely abandoning all of its nuclear programs.
Ambassador Hill, if the Trump administration approached you and asked your advice, your guidance on how to defuse the crisis, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, first of all, I think it's imperative that the U.S. and China work very closely together. And if the U.S. says, oh, China, you need to solve this problem, or if the Chinese say, U.S., you need to solve this problem, I would say both countries need to work together to solve the problem, because China cannot solve it alone, and neither can the U.S. So I think the first element of this needs to be a close U.S.-Chinese discussion, and a discussion that is really focused on North Korea and goes very deep into various issues. The second issue I think U.S. needs to do is stay very close to our allies, South Korea and Japan. We don't want a situation where they have any doubts about the U.S. Security umbrella that we provide those countries. I think a close U.S. South Korean relationship is extremely important to all concerned, including China.
But some might argue it's that close relationship and it's the military exercises in the region that DPRK sees as a provocative act.
Well, the DPRK sees a lot of things as provocative acts. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I cannot explain all their reactions to things. But with respect to the annual exercises, those exercises, and I've witnessed those exercises between U.S. forces and Republic of Korea forces, those are exercises designed to be prepared for any kind of North Korean attack on South Korea. They are exercises pursuant to the U.S. alliance with South Korea. And I think the real goal that North Korea has is somehow to separate the U.S. from South Korea, and for the North Koreans create a different situation, a different security situation on the peninsula. So when the North Koreans get very upset about this, I would suggest that we all tell them to calm down, that we are not attacking North Korea. In fact, if you look at the September 2005 statement, just as North Korea explicitly said it would do away with all its nuclear programs, the U.S. explicitly said it would not attack North Korea with conventional or nuclear weapons. So we are obligated not to conduct any offensive operation against North Korea. So I would really tell the North Koreans to get focused on their obligations, which are denuclearization.
And Ambassador Hill, finally, how concerned are you about the Trump administration's perhaps more confrontational tone when it comes to dealing with DPRK?
I'm much more concerned about the DPRK and their confrontational tone. I'm concerned about that military parade. I'm concerned about this list of provocations they've engaged in. I mean, including the murder of the half-brother of Kim Jong-un. The Malaysian authorities did a very thorough investigation of this, and we've seen it's another example of the spate of executions that the North Koreans have carried out. So I'm very concerned about the leadership in North Korea. It seems particularly unwise leadership. And I would like that leadership to start focusing on reality. And the reality is they need to start addressing and looking for ways to get the September 2005 agreement fully implemented.
All right, we'll leave it there. Ambassador Christopher Hill, thank you so much.